Prince William consoled the grieving partner of a U.S. police officer in a heartwarming letter. The Duke of Cambridge wrote to the girlfriend of Brian Sicknick after the officer died. Mr. Sicknick was on duty at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. when thousands of rioting Donald Trump supporters stormed the building in a bid to overthrow the 2020 U.S. election result. The officer was sprayed with a chemical during the violence and collapsed a day later. He died after suffering a stroke. William, 39, wrote to Sandra Garza, "Please forgive me if I am intruding, but I wanted to write and let you know how sorry I am about the death of your partner, Brian." The Duke said how he had seen footage of the harrowing events that took place at the Capitol in a documentary and wanted to pay tribute to Mr. Sicknick's patriotism and selflessness. He added, "By all accounts, Brian performed valiantly whilst on duty and despite suffering injuries continued to do his utmost to protect those inside." William said he hoped it gave Ms. Garza some small comfort to know that thanks to law enforcement officers like Brian that the situation did not escalate further and democracy was upheld. He added, "I know words cannot hope to provide comfort to you at this dreadful time, but I wanted to let you know that Brian's family are very much in my thoughts." News of William's letter emerged after Ms. Garza shared its contents with CNN and told how she had not received any message of condolence from former President Donald Trump. She said, "Prince William took the time to honor me and Brian." Ms. Garza went on to praise the prince, saying, "I just think he is just a beautiful, wonderful person." William's tribute to Mr. Sicknick was dated November 2021, but it did not reach Ms. Garza until recently, according to the Mirror. More than 150 police officers were hurt in the rioting. The House Select Committee is conducting hearings on the January 6 Capitol riot, with the next round scheduled for June 21. Mr. Trump's presidential advisor Peter Navarro pleaded not guilty on Friday to 2 misdemeanor counts of contempt of Congress after he refused to provide testimony or documents to the committee. Mr. Navarro, who appeared in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia for his arraignment on Friday, wrote a book after he left the White House in which he talked about a plan to delay Congress from certifying President Joe Biden's victory, known as Green Bay Sweep. According to the indictment, he described the plan as the last, best chance to snatch a stolen election from the Democrats' jaws of deceit. The indictment states, one of his attorneys said on Friday that his book will officially be released in September. A police officer who suffered a brain injury at the hands of rioters in the Capitol attack has already described scenes of violence and chaos, including fellow officers bloodied and on the ground, in testimony to the committee. Officer Caroline Edwards was one of 2 witnesses appearing in person during the first hearing of the House of Representatives Select Committee. She described how she got hurt and what she found when she finally got to safety behind a Washington Metropolitan Police line. The cop testified, "What I saw was just a war scene. It was something like I'd seen out of the movie. I couldn't believe my eyes. There were officers on the ground. You know, they were bleeding. They were throwing up. I was slipping in people's blood.